Join Hay House author Agapi Stassinopoulos as she shares healing life lessons from her best-selling book, Unbinding the Heart, at a recent I Can Do It conference.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Greek bearing gifts. Gifts of unbound heart, of wisdom, generosity, and unconditional love. How about that for gifts? And these are the gifts. Do not be aware of Greeks bearing gifts, because these are your gifts. These are the gifts you all have. And I'm just a mirror here today to just connect, ignite, and energize each other. I was walking back to the hotel and I heard this woman say, "How are you feeling?" She said, "I'm feeling energized." And I said, "How many of you today are feeling energized?" Opa! Because we are part of this extended family, our Hay House family. Actually, I think it should be called the Hay Home family, because it's a home. It's a home for all of us to find our voice, to express it, no matter where, if we are on the stage or if we're sitting here or in the last row, on the aisle. It's all our voices, and we must tell our story. This is why I wrote this book, because I wanted to tell my story. I'm so grateful that I'm following the vein of tenderness that Dave brought. It was a vein of tenderness, and we all felt it in our heart, right? And I'm going to be inspired by that tenderness, because I think that's what our hearts long for. It's to be touched, to connect, and to ignite each other. And what I found out in my life and in my journey, that I was born in Athens, Greece. How many of you been there? Oh, well, I think next stop should be Santorini, right? That's the cover of the book. We'll all go to Santorini next time. I'll take you all there. So I have 20 minutes. You know, they've given us 20 minutes, which is an impossibility for a Greek. But, I mean, when's the last time I could just be limited in time? You know, we know no time. My mother lived in eternity. She always said, "Darling, I have a rhythm of eternity." And I will tell you the short version of my story, which I wrote about. It took me a year to write and a lifetime to live. And maybe I will save you a little bit of angst and a little bit of ache to tell you and to share with you the wisdoms and the truth that I found. I was born in Athens, Greece, by an extraordinary mother, Ellie, and she survived the Nazis, the Second World War, and fought the Nazis, and told 4 German soldiers to put the guns down, and they did when they were trying to shoot in the Red Cross. My father was in the camps, in the concentration camps, and he survived them by writing the story of Greece in his mind, so that his mind will stay alert. And I was this love child. You know, agape means love, unconditional love. And I just wanted to be happy, and I just wanted to find love and to express love and joy. Today, I'm living my dream. It took me years to come to a place to realize that all I had to do is be agape. So, I tried to be someone else, but it didn't work out. I tried to be validated and recognized, but it didn't happen till I recognized me. When I got me, it didn't matter who got me, because I had me. So I will tell you my short version of my story, and I am keeping an eye on the watch, which is from Athens, Greece. I wanted to study acting. So I told my mother I wanted to go to the best drama school in the world, which is the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London. How many of you know that academy? It's the likes of, you know, Laurence Olivier, Vivian Leigh, Ian McKellen, Judi Dench, Anthony Hopkins, Alan Rickman, Kenneth Branagh, and Agapi Stassinopoulos. I mean, why not, right? So my mother, who was extraordinary in her fearlessness, you know, when you fight the Nazis, and you tell them to put the guns down. What else can you fear? I mean, everything is possible. So she raised me and my sister, Ariana, with this kind of Greek chutzpah, the fearlessness. Like, you want to do it, girl? You'll do it. So she said to me, you want to go to RADA? You'll go to RADA. And she found all the ways how to get me there. And I got in, and I was recognized. I played Phaedra at the age of 22, and I was validated. And they said, you're an incredible actress. You're going to have an incredible career. It didn't happen, which I'll tell you in a minute. Alan Rickman graduated with me. It happened for him. But they don't tell you, you're going to find your voice in a bus in New York one day. They don't tell you that. They prepare you to be a star. But when it doesn't happen, you have to backtrack. So I go to Hollywood. I get hired by a Greek tycoon who is financing a movie, who calls me one day in London, and he says, Agapi, darling, I hear you're a wonderful actress. I'm going to hire you to come to Hollywood to audition for a movie that I am producing. How's my American accent? Not so good? Now you know why I wasn't getting the American parts, right? So I go there, and I'm living there. I'm living at the Beverly Hills bungalow, hired by this Greek tycoon who I only see twice. Everybody thinks I'm a kept woman because he's paying for everything. And I'm not. I'm just working, to find out what am I going to do when I get the part. I get the part. Everything is fine. But I wait for the green light of the movie. I don't know how many of you know the Hollywood stories, Well, it's not happening. 3 months later, he calls me, and he says, Agapi, the movie fell through. We don't have the financing. You can go back to London. Go back to London? I mean, what am I going to tell my friends? That it didn't happen? I'm not a star? I have to keep face. So I don't go back to London. I decide to stay in Hollywood. And what happens then is a soul searching. I start to search for my soul. I realize maybe I'm not just an actress. Maybe there's something. I didn't really believe in God. So I start to go into meditation, yoga, the Bodhi tree, read Louise Hay's books, read Aurobindo, read Paramahansa Yogananda, read every book. And suddenly I do have an awakening. I do find a bit of my soul, and I find that God does exist, and I'm part of it, and I start to believe it, and I found my spiritual teacher. And I started the road to my spiritual path, but the acting thing was always with me because, I was trained to be an actress. I am a very good actress. And I kept going for the auditions. I kept going for the parts. And it was always, oh, my God, you're so talented. But you don't look Greek. You sound Greek, but you don't look Greek. Well, you're too short. You're too thin. You're too young. You're too young. You're too old. Basically, you get it. I don't fit in. Okay? I just don't fit in Hollywood. Hollywood is not getting Agapi. And and I'm going, what do you think I'm feeling? I'm feeling rejected. I'm feeling disappointed. I'm feeling lack of worth. My self-esteem is down. People say, what do you do? I'm an actress. Where are you working? In my bedroom. Okay, would you like me to do Jocasta? Can I do Shakespeare for you? Nothing. So it's kind of difficult, and I started a catering business because I love to cook and I have to live. So a lot happened. It's all in the book. It's my story, okay? But I'm like the angst and the longing and everything. And, Agapi's soul is going, darling, we're over here. Take a look at me. But who is looking, Have you ever experienced you want the outer world to come, to recognize you, validate you? Because if you're not recognized out there, who are you? Well, what happens, shortcut, I'm back in New York living with my mother, living with my sister, and there is a Greek play adaptation happening. Of all the Greek plays, can you imagine, 6 hours at Williamstown by Nikos Sakaropoulos, and it's Oresteia, Trojan Women, Clytemnestra, Electra, the whole lot. And I'm thinking, yeah, great, I'm gonna now get a part. So I go and I audition with Joan of Arc by Bernard Shaw, which I love. Nikos Sakaropoulos gives me amazing directions. I take them. She said to me, oh my God, you're such a good actress and you take such good directions. And I wait 2 days for Nico to call me back to tell me I got something, wouldn't you think? I mean, something, give me something. He says, the phone rings, Nico says, darling Agapi, you're such a talented actress, but I don't know what to do with you. That's years later. I've been hearing that now for years. And he turns to me and he says, I don't know what to do with you because you have too much of a personality and I can't fit you as an extra and to be, in the chorus because you'll stick out. And I can't give you the big parts because you're not a star. You don't have this name of Sigourney Weaver and Susan Sarandon that I need the big names. So it breaks my heart, but I can't hire you. Well, I go home. I am like Persephone in the underworld. I have hit bottom, rock bottom. I think nothing will happen to me. I have no life. I mean, I will never get a part. What am I going to do with my life? And I get on a bus. I cry, first of all, to my mother, who says to me, what do you think my mother said? My mother said, darling, something better will come. Because my mother knew better, and she was right. At the time, I didn't believe her. I get on the bus. And I'm sitting on the bus, and I got in, and I realized everybody looks much more depressed than I do. And everybody, you know how it is in the bus, everybody's recycling their worries and their bills and how they're going to pay the bills and what they're going to do. And it's like, who wants to talk to anybody? And if you touch them a little, say, I'm sorry, and they look at you, and you feel worse when you get off the bus. Because now you have the collective despair, not just yours. And if you're at all sensitive like I am, you pick it up like a sponge, So I'm sitting there, and I see the woman next to me, and of course I'm like longing to talk to somebody because I'm Greek and you talk to people. And I turned to her and I said, I just didn't get the part. I said, I auditioned for, how are you? And she says to me, I said, well, I love theater. And I said, you do? He said, yes, I used to be an actress, and now I'm a single mom, and I'm a nurse, and I have to support my son, so I don't act anymore. And I said, oh, I understand. I said, I miss it. I just did Joan of Arc. I said, would you like me to do it for you? And I turned to her, and I go, you promised me my life, but you lied. You think that life is nothing but being stone dead. I can live on bread and water. When have I asked for more? But to shut me from the light of the day, to throw me in the dungeon, chain my feet, so I can no longer see the sun and my wonderful soldiers passing by. That is worse than the furnace in the Bible that was heated 7 times. You think you can frighten me by telling me that I'm alone. God is alone, and France is alone, and what is my loneliness before the loneliness of my country and my God? I see now that God's loneliness is his strength. My loneliness will be my strength too. I will take comfort in his love, in his counsel, in his friendship. He will not fail me. But to think you can take that away from me. I will go out now to the common people. Let the love in their eyes comfort me for the hatred in yours. You will be glad to see me burned, but if I go through the fire, I will go through it to their hearts forever and ever. So light your fire, and God be with me. And what do you think this woman says to me? My dear girl, you are so talented. And I said, I know, but I can't get the part. And she hugs me, and she's crying. And I get off the bus, and I am 10 feet tall. And I get off the bus, and I get it, man. I get it. Years and years of waiting for one casting director to say, you get the part. I got the part. Thank you. I got me. I want to tell you, my friends, this is real. At that moment, I went and sang for my singing teacher like she was Broadway. I went and said, I'm casting you, Agapi, as the leading part of your life. And I'll cast the supporting roles. And I said, I'm going to do a one-woman show called Conversations with the Goddesses. I have a tape from PBS. I want to give it to you all to see what I did. I got 7 parts to play, all the goddesses, not one. And I found the director, and I found the gallery, and I found the people who hang the curtains to make it look like a temple. And I found my audience. I said, you want to be my audience? Come, I'll perform for you. And people loved it because it was my spark. So today, I want to reach out to all of you way up there and tell you, find your spark. Don't leave home without it. Don't leave this performing arts center without it, whatever it is. I started at a little gallery in Montecito with a gallery and 60 people in my audience, and it ignited. People took me to the Getty Museum and to Washington and to Rome and to Greece and to the theaters. It happened. I got to write books, to do a PBS special, 2 books, a jewelry collection from the Greek goddesses. It was like, man, what happened? It was like starvation time, and here's your banquet. It was move over. And Hollywood, who cares? Like, you know. So, it's so funny. I'm putting my hands on my hips because one of the things I did, I became very well known for, was an homage to my hips, which is a poem that people loved. I don't think we have time for me to do it now, but it does say, these hips are big hips. They don't fit into petty little places. They need space to move around in. These hips go where they want to go. These hips do what they want to do. These hips have never been enslaved. These hips are free hips. These hips are magic hips. I have known them to put a spell on a man and spin him around like a top. Love your hips, lady. I might be wearing a Spanx in my hips, but I'm not wearing a Spanx in my heart or my expression anymore. So let that out. So anyways, the rest was like, it happened. You get the energy, right? It happened. I was happening, and it keeps happening, and then God bless my beloved Hay House. I got this book written, which is my story, 32 stories of my mother, my father, my sister, me. How do you get there? How do we get there? To find ourselves and to say, I got me, and now I can share me with people. It's a journey. It's a journey. But it's there. It's there for the taking. It's step by step by step. So there are no 7 or 8 ways. There are none. There is one choice. There's one choice. The choice is, do you shut down or do you stay open when things don't happen the way you want them to happen? And when things don't happen the way we want them to happen, and we choose to say, I'm open, I'm not closing down, I'm not going to feel resentful, I'm not going to feel rejected, I'm not going to feel unworthy, I am going to stay open, other things happen. And you know what happens? You happen. We happen to ourselves. We connect with ourselves, with our light, with our soul. Because our soul, the GPS for our soul, is coming in. And it wants to guide us. And we're all part of the collective soul. That's what Plato said. We're all part of that one soul, part of one heart. There is no separation. We are connected like islands in the deep. We're separate, but this is illusion separation. Right now, come present in your heart and imagine right now a golden vein going into one person and another person, surrounding this whole beautiful auditorium. We are one heart. And that's the truth that I stand before you as a living testament to the fact that all that matters is not what happens out there, but how you turn inside to connect with you and love all of you unconditionally. Be tender with yourself. This is love. Put your hand in your heart. Put your hand in your tummy and listen to you, all of you. There's a beautiful chapter in my book called Conversation with Socrates, where I say, know thyself, he says, and I say, what self? And he says, all of it, all of it. The jealous, the upset, the anger, the resentful, all of it. And then the true self, the soul, the beingness of who we are comes forward to love us, nurture us, take care of us. And if we don't feel it, we have each other. The ultimate truth is we have given the greatest gift bestowed on us, that at any moment in our lives, we have the opportunity, heart to heart, to profoundly affect another human being's life. And that is the greatest gift, not in Africa to saving the AIDS. It doesn't have to be that. It can be at the Hilton hotel lobby while you open the door for someone. It can be the moment where I was at the lobby here and I didn't have money for coffee, and a woman said to me, here is $1 for your prosperity, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. It can be that little moment when somebody says, I love your jewelry, and you say, here, take it. As my mother used to say, the person said, what can I give you back? And my mother said, it's an offering, darling. It's not a trade. So, my dear friends, I offer you my love. I offer you my sweetness. I offer you my tenderness. I offer you anything that I have found to this point of my life as your friend. And I ask you all to just call yourself forward at this moment, at this incredible conference, to serve one another, to let go of your agendas, to let go of what you think our projects are in our lives. Most of them in my life didn't happen. Most of the men I thought I'll marry, I never married them. But what mattered is when I let go of my agendas, the Spirit took over. And today, I ask you to bring forward your spark, to ignite each other in the moment, like the woman in the bus. Like that moment, let your moment appear. And that is your portable paradise that we have with us every moment. Claim it, have it, it's yours for the taking, participating, and enriching your lives. I love you. I want to continue this conversation out in the lobby. I want to sign books for you, touch your hands, touch your hearts. I want you to be part of my community of unbinders, heart unbinders. Come and find me at my unbindingtheheart.com. I'm going to be taking groups of women and a few good men to Santorini. So come, be my friend. I love you from the bottom of my heart.
To find out more about Agapi and her book, please click the link in the video description below.